Since I already tested the best regular drugstore base coats for prolonging manicures, my curiosity got the best of me and I decided to test out those dual base coats you see on store shelves. I remember trying one or two out many years ago without much success, but I figured it's 2021 and they're still in stores. Maybe they're better than I remember. Before I begin, I want to preface this by saying that base and top coat performance can vary from person to person, so my results may be different from yours because of many different factors, and that's okay. I'm just going to share with you what I experienced in my tests. First, I tried out Sally Hansen's dual base coat, which cost me $3.96. Pardon my stained nails, that was for a different video testing how well base coats prevent staining, but I didn't like how I filmed and documented it, so it'll be a while before I can refilm. Anyway, I obviously used the Sally Hansen polish as both a base coat and a top coat. I used 2 coats of red polish in between. I waited a couple of hours before doing anything, and it took an extremely long time to dry. I then went to sleep, woke up, and the polish was textured from dents. It looked terrible. With that being said, it really didn't chip until day 4. It was just a tiny chip in the middle finger. By day 7, there was a tiny amount of edge wear. Honestly, if the polish didn't take forever to dry and then still dent after applying, I would say these were great results. And yes, it dents days after applying, even 7 days later. Is it possible that the polish took long to dry because it's old? Yes. However, I bought it from a store that rotates their polishes regularly, and I haven't had a problem with old polish before. Is it possible that someone opened this one letting it go bad? No, because it was still sealed in the packaging when I bought it. Is it possible I put too thick of a layer on? Maybe. I was on autopilot and painted everything on like I always do. Is it possible I just had bad luck? Absolutely. If you're watching this and love this polish, please let me know. Next, I tried out the brand LA Girl. At $2.99, it's the cheapest of the polishes I tried in this video. I noticed that although it's easy to apply, sometimes it has a strange texture or bubbles for the top coat. It dried just okay, not fast, but not as slow as Sally Hansen. I noticed that my thumb smudged, but the others did not. My nails held up really well until day 5, when there was a significant chip on my ring finger and a little chip on my middle finger. On day 6, it chipped near the cuticle of my index finger. And on day 7, I believe my middle finger chipped a little more. I tried Orly's polish next, which cost $8.95. On the bright side, it was easy to apply a thin, smooth coat. Unfortunately, it easily gets marks, especially the first couple of hours. It even gets marks 10 hours later. Just like Sally Hansen polish, there's many possible reasons for the slow drying time. This was simply my experience. Like LA Girl, I didn't notice any chipping until day 5. In this case, the chipping was only on my middle finger. On day 7, there was also a small chip on my ring finger and thumb. After Orly, I tried Essie, which costs $9.99. Essie, hands down, dried the best. If I was just judging this on drying, this would be the winner. Unfortunately for Essie, that's not all I'm looking at. On day 1, yes, you heard that right, day 1, my middle finger already was slightly chipped and cracked. On day 2, the pointer and thumb slightly chipped, and the ring finger chipped on the side slightly. On day 3, the middle finger chipped badly. I had to repair it. Later at night, the thumb also chipped. On day 4, the middle and thumb were really bad and had to be repaired. If I didn't repair them, I was afraid my nails would break. On day 5, I noticed my nails had a strange texture caused by the top coat. The top coat seemed bumpy and had wrinkled. On day 6, the ring finger was chipped. The pointer was slightly chipped but more worn, and the pinky was in the best condition. I decided to compare all of these results to what would happen if I used the same red polish but without a base coat. I used the top coat I typically use. To be honest, I was tired of having dents in my manicure and having to wait forever for them to dry. I will warn you that I had to shorten my nails because my nails were breaking. Unfortunately, they're pretty brittle lately. On day 3, there was slight chipping on the middle finger and thumb. On the side of the index finger, there was a strip of polish that came off. The ring finger and the pinky had wear, and the bottom of the thumb chipped near the cuticle. By day 4, the thumb and middle finger were chipped. All nails had some wear, but the pinky wasn't bad. On day 6, the thumb was cracked on the left, and the middle finger and thumb were really bad. As you can see, by day 7, the manicure looked pretty worn. Now I'd say it's time to compare my results. The polish that lasted the longest amount of time before chipping was a tie between LA Girl and Orly. However, I'd say Orly won because only one nail chipped rather than 2. Essie unfortunately did the worst in this same category. The polish that looked the best by day 7, in my opinion, was Sally Hansen, with Orly taking second place. I'd say Essie did the worst in this category simply because I had to repair 2 nails before day 7. In the category of drying time, Essie undoubtedly won. However, was it really worth it if it chipped so early on? I do wonder if the fact that it dried quicker made it more prone to chipping. The other polishes seemed to dent easier, which makes me think they may be dented rather than chipped sometimes. So, which polish do I think won? Well, to be honest, I don't think I plan to use any of them for a base/top coat combination. If I had to pick one to use, I'd say I'd pick LA Girl, which is interesting since it's the cheapest of the 4 polishes. It lasted quite a long time before chipping, but also had an okay dry time. Maybe some of these would work better just as base coats. Should I experiment with that theory next? Until then, I'll just be using a traditional base coat and top coat. I'm sticking with the base coat that won my regular base coat experiment video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's what Kay says.